What's up, guys? Holy crap, how about that San Diego Supercross? Beast mode was in full effect, and he got to go head-to-head with the kid. This is Eli Tomac in true beast mode, not what Jett called baby beast mode last year. I think that's what he said. I think that really pissed off Eli, and it really fired him up, and he wanted to show this kid what real beast mode was. Chase Sexton, other than that first lap, rode like a rock star, but he is lucky to be alive. And that track in San Diego was peaked. There were a lot of dudes that had some big crashes. Hopefully they're using some Nano-Xtreme. This stuff helps with pain so much. It decreases inflammation, promotes healing.
So nanotechnology is the act of breaking down molecules. Say you have like one big basketball. We break it down 1,000, 100,000 times till it's the size of a tiny grain of sand, which allows it to absorb through the skin much easier, much more effectively. A lot of natural spices in our formula that are great for interacting and stimulating nerve receptors.
Head over to Nano-Xtreme, use code Cooksy and get free shipping. If you guys run out of stuff to watch, head over to the Coach Rob Podcast Network. He's got a show dedicated to amateur racers. He's got a show dedicated to vet racers. He's got all sorts of stuff on the Coach Rob Podcast Network. So head over there, check that out. Check him out on YouTube. That's Coach Rob Podcast.
You need people like me so you can point your fucking fingers and say, that's the bad guy.
First off today, I want to start off by saying thank you to the track builders. I am so happy to see 10 whoops. I'd like to see even more. And I want to see random numbers. I don't want to see 10 every week. I don't want to see 9 every week. I want you to throw curveballs at these teams so they don't know what to expect. Are they going to be jumpers? Are they going to be skimmers? What do we do? That's what this sport is about. And yes, whoops are dangerous, but it's part of the sport. That's an accepted part of the sport. Dragon's backs, that's just dangerous for the sake of being dangerous. But a good hard whoop section, that is what separates the best from the really good. And that is, it's a skill and it tests fitness. Nothing wears you out more than hammering a set of whoops. I would be okay if before every race, the track builders went and pulled out of a hat numbers 9 through 12, and that's how many whoops we got at that event. That way, there's no playing, hey, we're helping Tomac, we're helping Webb, we're helping guys that jump. No, it'd be a random number. You just draw it out of a hat every week. And if there's room, you put that many whoops there. But we are watching a heavyweight title fight. And this is between Chase, Jett, and Eli. These three guys are on a different level. Webb will get there. He's not there yet, but Webb will get there. But there is 3 heavy hitters. I mean, Tomac, he's 32 years old. He has never looked better. They talked about last year, baby beast mode. That was real beast mode. The way he went around Jett Lawrence in that sand section, that was old school Eli, where people go, wow, where'd that come from? And he just checked out for a little while. But the thing about Jett, he's got that crazy alien-like talent, and he was able to figure it out. And I love that these guys are smashing this whole myth about age. Age is just a number. Your athletic peak is between 25 and 35, depending on how motivated you are. Now, if you lose motivation, you do too much early. Yes, it's hard to go all the way into your 30s or even late 30s, but you look at athletes who start later, they can go longer. It is an athletic maturity, as Coach likes to say, but your mind also catches up. And if you can stay driven and really want to win into your 30s, there is no reason why you shouldn't be able to. And Tomac is proving that. Tomac is proving that. Roczen's proving that. All these guys are proving that. It is a myth that these riders are done by the age of 30. And speaking of Roczen, man, this guy looks rejuvenated. And of these older guys, he's the only one that I was kind of worried about because he's had that litany of injuries, those 2 arm injuries. First, the bad one at Anaheim, and then when he stuck his hand in Cooper Webb's wheel, he's had some major injuries. And that leg break last year was no joke either. So if there was a guy that was going to age, I was looking at Ken Roczen. But man, he was one of 4 riders in that main event, besides Jett, Eli, and Chase, that got into the 52-second lap times. 4 guys. And Ken Roczen was one of them. Unfortunately, Kenny's charge to the front ended when he ran into Webb. Webb he's just this stubborn guy, and he does not let Kenny beat him ever, anytime. He's like a doorman, and he was like, all right, Tomac, Jett, you're through. Roczen, whoa, you're not on the list, bro. You're not on the list, so you stay right there. And he keeps him in 4th place and literally changes his pace and keeps Kenny behind him. How many times has Cooper Webb punked Kenny Roczen? This poor guy he's going to look back at his career and see how many times that he should have got by Cooper Webb and didn't, and it's going to eat him alive. He's going to have to go get therapy. I think he's going to need some therapy. He's got Cooper PTSD, and it all started back in the day. Think about this, 2017, when Ken Roczen is just the man. Him and Dungey, and then he has that bad arm injury. He comes back. Cooper Webb was on his way out. He was on his way to getting fired from Yamaha. I mean, he was not doing good in 2018. He splits from them. He gets his chance at KTM, which people weren't even sure if he was going to get a ride. That's how close Cooper Webb was to becoming the privateer route. And his whole career turned, after that. He got onto that KTM, did pretty good, but Roczen also fired him up. And for those that don't know the story, Cooper Webb's wife is Ken Roczen's ex-girlfriend. And in the off-season between 2017 and 18, Roczen made some public comments that were very derogatory towards Cooper's then girlfriend, now wife. Cooper did not like this. It fired him up. And that's all you need to do for Cooper Webb is fire him up. And man, he has been a different person ever since then. He did the finger gun, and I can't tell you how many times he's passed or beat Ken Roczen at the very end. Roczen got him one time. He got over one time in Tampa. But other than that, it has been all Cooper Webb punking Ken Roczen. Even Ken's second hand injury was because he was trying to get back at Cooper Webb, because Cooper Webb went and stuffed him, and he was going to get back at him, and it was just, it couldn't have gone worse. He put his hand in the wheel. Cooper Webb has been Ken Roczen's kryptonite. It's crazy to watch. He came through that pack doing 52s, gets to Webb, that's the end of the charge. I can't believe it's still happening. Even with that, though, I'm sorry, Ken Roczen looks awesome. He does not look like what I thought he would look like. After seeing him in World Supercross, I really thought he'd be back there with Anderson, Plessinger. I figured he'd be a 5 to 10 guy. He looks like a guy who could win races, and he probably will. He'll probably get 1 or 2 this year. That's how good Ken Roczen is. And you know what? My bad for sleeping on him. This dude is an all-time great, even though as long as Cooper Webb's not near him, he might win the race. And after watching Jett in press day and in practice and qualifying, I knew he was going to be there tonight. I didn't know exactly what he was going to do, but you could see whatever was weighing on him at Anaheim 1, the whole offseason, the stress of the feeling the hate, it looks like it has subsided. And either he's accepted it or it's not bothering him, but he looked loose again. He looked like Jett Lawrence, and he's going to get better. The bike looks better. He looks better. And to see the way he figured it out in that main event, that is impressive. There's not a lot of people on earth that can get blown out by Tomac. Tomac went around him like he had to check if he was still moving. Then he gets gapped, but he figures it out, starts changing lines, and he catches back up to Tomac. Love Jett or hate Jett, this is something special to watch. This kid he's an alien. I don't know what else to say. He is an alien on that motorcycle, but he's also going against a just hard, gritty veteran in Eli Tomac, and Chase Sexton, the merchant of speed, is back. But I'll talk about him in a second. But the way Jett reeled in Tomac, and then he used, his racecraft has gotten to a higher level. It is a good racecraft. In the offseason, when he said, who's got the best racecraft? I said Cooper Webb. He said himself. After seeing the move that he put on Cooper Webb and followed Eli through, that was perfect racecraft. He saw that setting up. He saw what Eli was doing, and he made sure to put himself in a position to also capitalize and go with Eli. That is some next level racing and next level racecraft. And I'll tell you what, when they came up on that lapper, Kevin Moranz, love Kevin Moranz, glad to see him get in the main event. He was smart enough to wave the guys to the inside before the sand. But up until that point, Eli had only gone outside and Jett was catching him. I think Jett was going to make that move in the sand, either that lap or the next lap. But when Kevin Moranz waved Eli to that inside, Eli realized how much better that line was. And I don't think he ever went back to the outside. It was perfect. He got kind of lucky that Moranz pushed him in there, because I don't know that he would have went there. He would have had to get past and then try and figure out how to pass Jett back. Sometimes it's better to be lucky than good, but he's smart enough to know as soon as he went to that inside, he figured it out. The thing about Jett that worries me right now is his brother was super, super sick. I don't know what's going on with these colds. Is it the gain of function that Fauci and those guys have done? But regular colds these days, I'm sorry, they are bad. And when I say gain of function, I mean the study of making them possibly lethal or more deadly. Yeah, that's what they did. And there's been a crime on humanity. I truly believe it has changed the way we all get sick, and it's getting worse. It sucks. So thank you, Dr. Fauci, for that. But Hunter was really sick. My question is, Jett is constantly with him, sharing the truck, living around. Like, there's no way he hasn't been around and exposed to Hunter. Is he going to be sick by next week? And it's tough. Everyone goes, oh, why do these riders get sick so often? Because they are exerting themselves and they're in stressful situations. And then they're being exposed to all the fans and people in the stadium and everybody that wants to get a piece of them. And then they go to the airports and travel the day after, running themselves down. Then they train all week. It is not easy to stay healthy during a 17-round series, but they're going to have to figure out a way because, you can't take a sick day and still win a championship. Check out Ride-Strapped. Coolest goggles, glasses, red pill shirts. Just a great company. I appreciate them. Sounds like we'll be doing another cookout in Daytona for those of you guys that came to the Cooksy Cookout, but I'll have more information on that coming up soon. Check out ridestrap.com. If for shipping anything, use Precision Transport. It's pretransport.com, a family-owned shipping company that just really takes pride in customer service. So hit up pretransport.com. Check out Motobilia. These are some of the coolest motorcycle, motocross, memorabilia items. They have bikes, Dave Thorpe's factory GP bike. Wait till you see the giveaways coming from Motobilia. They're a new sponsor and just a cool company. So check out motobilia.com. Man, Chase Sexton was so fast. He smoked him in the heat, fastest time in qualifying. He looked like he could go 2 for 2. Then he got that horrible start, blew the triple, and I'll tell you what, he needs to go buy Dylan Ferrandis a beer. That was one of the best evasive maneuvers I've ever seen a rider do. Dylan literally in the air turned, threw his leg out, whipped the bike off, and rode off the track to the inside. And he had to do that because Chase committed a cardinal sin. Oh, I hate when guys do this. If you're not jumping the jump, do not move left or right to get out of the way. I know he thought he was far enough right that nobody was going inside of him, but Dylan had already committed to that inside, and he went to get out of his way, and he went right underneath Dylan. I mean, that's bad, but he knows better than to do that. But it's hard for these top guys because they never have to really deal with that because they're always the ones jumping from behind. So when it comes on them, he panicked. He panicked and he tried to swerve right. And he is so lucky that wasn't life-changing, career-changing, season-ending. When someone lands on you from that high, bad things happen. So Sexton, you need to go over and thank Dylan. He saved your life, bro. And I think he realized how close of a call it was, and it kind of flustered Sexton. And I think that's why he made that mistake 2 turns later. He's just, like he kind of just fell apart. He's like, oh my gosh, I almost died. And, he's still a human being. And, then he got it together. And what's crazy is Chase Sexton was so fast in that main event. That first lap, I think he was down 15 seconds, right around 15 seconds. He finished 21 seconds behind Eli. He's going through the pack and only lost 5 seconds to Eli and Jett. And he had to go through 22 riders. They went through the pack, but they didn't have to go through the whole pack, and they had a lot of clean track up front. So for him to get within 20 seconds of them, wow, that is a fast dude, and he is going to be a threat next week. And I think Chase will have a little less to worry about next week. There's the hearing that's going to determine what's happening with KTM, if the banks that they owe money to are going to accept the plan presented. And if they do, this pretty much means KTM's good for the year as far as the team goes. If they don't, we'll know on Friday. So at least on Friday, when they get to Saturday, they won't have to worry nearly as much. Not that Chase has even concerned himself with it, but I'm sure there's a lot of people stressing out, wondering how that hearing is going to go, because everyone could have the rug pulled out from under them on Friday. I hope it doesn't happen, and I don't think it's going to. And from what I'm hearing, the banks are going to accept it, but you never know until they actually do. But it'll be nice to get to Anaheim knowing what direction that KTM is going to go from there on out. Or at least I hope that's when we find out. They could just push it back and say, oh, okay, we'll check again in a couple months, and they have to keep reducing debt and making themselves profitable. I know they just fired a bunch of engineers, I think 160 engineers in Austria last week. So they're still cutting and they're still trying to do these things to make it profitable. What's really going to be interesting on Friday is if there's a good chance they clip Gas and Husqvarna. I hope that's not the case, and I hope those guys are safe for the rest of the year. I think KTM is, but I'm really worried about Gas and Husqvarna. If they can make it through Friday, I feel a lot better about them getting through the whole season. So I gotta call things evenly, and you guys know I'm a big Vince Friese fan, and he gets so much undue hatred, and people go after him for crazy reasons. And I mean, he could do the same thing as other people, and people just want to burn him on the stake. What he did to Benny Bloss in the heat race, no problem. I got no issues with that. You're going for a transfer spot. And Benny, come on, man. Like, seriously, don't go on the outside of Vince Friese. You know it's Vince Friese. How many times do we have to tell you, if you go on the outside of him, he will take you out? And he did. He went on the outside of him and got taken out. That's on Benny. But what I had an issue with is, man, when Tomac and Jett were coming up on Vince Friese to lap him, I really wish he would have moved out of the way. I was starting to get stressed out. I'm like, come on, Vince, get out of the way. I understand he's battling for his own race position, and his bonuses are set up to where those positions in the back, while they don't mean a lot to us as fans, for him and his paycheck, they matter. Every position, Vince gets a considerable bump in his bonuses. So I understand why he's so intent on not giving up positions and he's racing for himself. But when you're getting lapped and the leaders are coming through and they hit you with the blue flag that many times, you got to get off the race line. And I also understand he had Benny Bloss right on him, who's probably looking for payback. So he doesn't want to ease up and let Benny get right there so Benny can clean him out and really cost his race. So I understand why he did it, but I didn't like it. I wish Vince would have moved over a little bit more. Hunter Lawrence. This is not his best result on paper, but that was one of the grittiest, most hard-earned fifth-place rides you will see. He was sick. You could see it in his body language, the fact that he skipped opening ceremonies and was considering not even riding. He went out there and battled. He was running up front. That whole main event, he got fifth place in a field where, I mean, look at the guys that finished behind him. Sexton, Anderson, Barsha. Like, there are some heavy hitters that he beat on a bad night. This is a very good result. While it's only a fifth place, and I know he's had better finishes, this is one that he'll probably remember as one of the grittiest rides. So good on Hunter. My hat is off. I just hope Jett doesn't get that same illness. And while I'm talking about gritty rides, Malcolm Stewart. Is there anybody tougher than Malcolm Stewart? That hit he took at Anaheim in the heat race would put dudes out for a long time. Not many people would get up and race, not only get 10th that night, but come back the next week and ride really good. I mean, he was fast, and he got 7th. Man, Malcolm, the old Malcolm is back. I hope he can keep it upright, get better, build off of this, and we might see Malcolm battling. And, you never know. I mean, those top 3-4 guys are really fast, but Malcolm on a given night can also get inside there. The pack is so tight. I mean, anywhere from 5th to 15th, you're talking about split seconds and a mistake here, a mistake there. It's not like the old days where, you could just ride around and get 15th. 15th had to haul ass this year. 15th is doing lap times that are only a second or two behind the leaders. That's crazy. That is fast. So Ryan Brees is going to join us this week. He's got his own YouTube channel. Check it out. He didn't race this weekend. He's got a knee that's really banged up. He'll tell us more about that on Tuesday. He'll be on with us Tuesday or Wednesday. Thank you, members. I appreciate you guys so much. Everyone who's a member, you are automatically entered to win a set of Alias gear. Pant, jersey, glove. We'll be giving this away at the end of this month. I believe we'll do the drawing right around January 31st. So you will be getting a pant, jersey, glove. We'll have that shipped directly from Alias. And then also, we're going to give away a bottle of Nano-Extreme to somebody else. So we got 2 winners. And then we got more drawings coming up. We're going to have drawings every single month.